So in prior videos, you've heard me talk about transits to the United States natal chart, and there's no question you can see all kinds of patterns here that point to the current quandary we find ourselves in. For example, Neptune's position challenging Mars via square, something that is relatively rare because Neptune moves quite slowly, and the fact that Mars connects to the 12th, which automatically becomes a health and even a pandemic type connection. The 12th is the house of hospitals, for example, and it's where really serious health problems will tend to occur. And then you have all the planets in Capricorn opposing the 8th house, US natal planets, and so forth. But as said in the previous video, there's also the USA Progress chart, and that chart for 2020 shows in itself important patterns, this T-square with planets pointing to the house of health. And this, by the way, is drawn for the election of 2020. And isn't it interesting that the moon, the progressed moon, is just entering Aquarius then? And it's in that house as well, in the same health house. And will continue in that house for a couple of years. And right away, as we go into December, January, it's going to complete this T-square and close it down so that they're all pretty much in the same degrees. And it tells you that that's a period of time when the intensity will be high in regard to this topic. And I mentioned in the prior video that the Uranus, where it's located, is highlighting it as well. But I will add that there are some strong positives as well, because if you notice the transits to this chart, on the one hand, you've got Saturn entering that house for 2+ years, has already been there, in fact, already is there as we speak. Saturn is about to station near 2 degrees, but it'll backtrack July, August, September. It'll come back here into what is the 5th in this chart, temporarily before it goes fully in. And that, by the way, is also very symbolic because this is the election house, and with all this Capricorn energy in the election house, it's why we are going to elect someone quite old, right? Either Trump or Biden. Although no worries there, I am quite convinced it's going to be Biden. But then after that, it goes into Aquarius in December and stays here for 2+ years, and that's symbolic of the work that has to be done in that area, and why that topic will continue to be really important for quite some time. But you also have to remember Jupiter's going in there, and what this tells us is that 2021 is automatically much better than 2020. First of all, 2020, in any chart you look at, with all these planets in Capricorn, is always going to be a lot harder. Particularly if you look at the original chart, it's hitting all these Cancer planets, this confluence of planets in Capricorn, and that makes it very, very difficult. But then Jupiter and Saturn will move into the next sign, and so then the intensity is much diminished. In fact, even this progressed moon moves there as well, so it reduces that pattern, though of course in here the progressed moon continues to be active. But putting Saturn and Jupiter in here suggests, yes, the Saturn is the work, undoubtedly, but Jupiter tells us that 2021 is likely to be a year of great progress in matters of health in regard to the U.S. situation, and that is cause for optimism. And so whatever you may hear me say about the difficulties and the dangers of this coronavirus pandemic, I fully believe that 2020 is the truly nasty year. If we can get into 2021, yes, a whole lot of things will change, I'm sure, but nevertheless, the outlook is a lot more positive.